And we live.
Yeah.
Hey.
What up, tribe?
The Sophisticatedly Ratchet Podcast is a roundtable conversational podcast that gives a voice to the Black experience.
Millennials from New York City sharing our views on Black lifestyle, culture, relationships, religion, and current events.
Here at SR, we strive to give our listeners the real in a world of fake.
Worldly professionals with class that also know how to switch it up.
Now let's talk our wild shit.
What's
Hey,
good?
what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode.
Peace.
Yeah. All
Miss
right.
Lead us, ho.
I'm leading you guys. Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever the time of day it is for you. We are Sophisticatedly Ratchet. Welcome, tribe. What it do?
Peace,
I'm
peace.
your host. I'm your host and moderator of this. The host and moderator of this show. It's your boy. Shit, aka Mr. AFF, aka Mr. HSD. What it do?
What's that for today, sir?
Yeah, what's up for today?
Dang it, I didn't come up with an F today.
Sound like you forgot. Forgot. Mr. Forgetful.
America's favorite forgetful.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my squad. All right. First, we're gonna go to the left. We're gonna go to the left of me. Is that the left? Yes, it's the left of me.
Probably.
Bung. I'm gonna go to my girl TJ. What it do? She looks sweet, but she is hard. She is horrible. She is the ice queen, the bestest. She keeps us on. What do you do? You keep us on track. You're amazing. That's the ice queen. Everybody, welcome to Ice Queen.
She just roll her eyes into the back of her head.
Hey, tribe. Yeah, that's it. Hey, tribe. It's your girl TJ, the unicorn Gemini, and I bring duality to the podcast. They call me the Ice Queen, and I bring sweet ice and heat. I guess.
No such
Yeah.
thing.
She's icy hot.
Hi.
Ooh, I like that. All right.
Icy hot.
Oh, that's for old people. What's wrong with you?
I know.
She a little vintage.
Aging
She a
ourselves.
little vintage.
Y'all started using Icy Hot yet? I have not started yet. I think I'm-
Icy hot is clutch. Don't sleep on icy hot, my boy.
Yeah.
Nah,
we
that
have
shit
pain.
work. That
That shit's clutch, boy.
Mhm.
It is good.
Next in line, I'm gonna introduce my man, the philosopher who be philosophizing about bullshit. What it do, Flash the philosopher? What it do, boy?
You hear the love. You see, they don't do this for you, Shay. They don't do this for you.
Because
You
you
see
got
that,
the
right?
God powers. That's
Yeah.
why.
Nah, I mean, I got a
Asshole.
finger. It's fine. Today though, I am the potent pursuer of possessions just for this episode. All right, but it is your boy Flash. It is me. It is I. What up?
See what you did there,
Why
G?
not?
See what
I
you did
missed
there?
it. I missed it. Help me.
Seriously.
Potent pursuer of
Possessions.
possessions. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's greedy.
Mhm.
PPP.
You see?
Okay, the PPP.
PPP loan.
Anyhow. Okay, so next in line, we're gonna go to everybody's favorite number 3.
Boogies down.
Give a shout out to my girl from the BX, Mo. What it do, Mo? Say what's up.
What it do? It's your girl Mo. I hail from Co-op City, Section 5. Don't ever zone my shit. I represent everything the Bronx. Everything Bronx. You heard? Hey. What's good, tribe?
And last but not least, I'm gonna introduce my man Spew God. He said I wasn't giving no drips. I heard it in the last episode.
Yeah, he
but I'm gonna
said
give
that.
you a
He
drip for this
did.
one, bro.
Drip.
Drip. What it
My
do?
nigga. I felt the love on that one. what's the term my man Errol say? I appreciate love that. Still in that.
Appreciate love that. Okay.
I appreciate love that. Yo, Mash, if you got drip drip, please say the drip drip. I representing South Jamaica
Drip
Queens.
drip.
Gang, appreciate
drip.
you. Please say the drip drip. If you don't say it, don't say it at all. Out here represent South Jamaica Queens. Only Queens make kings. If you didn't know, SPEW is an abbreviation for spreading positive energy wherever. And as the ambassador of the SPEW, it's my job to enrich the lives of everybody that I meet. I love you, tribe. I miss you, tribe. And I won't be greedy this episode. Let's get greedy.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. I'm hungry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get this episode started. All right. And we're gonna have our girl TJ bring us in with a little bit of what is it? She's gonna center us. No bad days, people. No bad days.
You're gonna center yourselves.
Come on, Flash. The fuck is you
doing?
It's
gonna be a great ass day. Because I said it was gonna be a great ass day. I won't accept nothing else. Nothing bad will enter my day. Say that shit like you mean it. Howl it. No bad days.
Woo! No bad days, tribe. Not Monday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, not Thursday, not Friday, not Saturday, not Sunday. No day of the week should be a bad day because I am going to give you another chakra that is going to help you stay aligned and balanced and aware. Okay. So today I'm going to be focusing on the orange chakra, also known as the sacral chakra. And that's why we're orange today. The sacral chakra is located right below your belly button, and it's the space that is responsible for your sexuality, your creativity, your emotions, your pleasure, and some affirmations. I have that too, that you can think about when you hear me ring the singing bowl is, I am a creative being. I let go of past feelings that no longer serve me. And it is my birthright to receive pleasure. Doesn't that sound good?
That's what I tell myself every day.
Yeah. So if any of those affirmations, actually, I want to talk to you really quickly. I'm going to show you, I want to share with you some things that you may be feeling if it's unbalanced. And if it's unbalanced, if your sacral chakra is unbalanced, you will feel aggressive. You may be selfish. You may be using manipulative behaviors. You could be jealous, have mood swings. You don't have good boundaries, an unhealthy attachment to others, over emotional. Some people even have sexual addictions because, like I said, this is related to our sexuality as well. So if you're feeling any of those things, let's go ahead and balance that chakra out. Okay, guys? So like we always do, we say that again.
I don't know if I want to balance anymore.
I think my shit is out of alignment. I think we need to
anything in excess, and that's what we've been learning with the 7 deadly sins. Anything in excess is not good, right? So you shouldn't have a sexual addiction, okay?
Everything you just said made me
no
feel
such thing as too much head. There's no such thing as too much head.
I'm ready. Let's go.
There isn't, but if it's an addiction, it's a problem. Remember, like addiction is something that. Okay, whatever.
I feel broken.
I mean, too much head. That sounds like a good.
It sounds like a good thing. A lot of a good thing.
There could be too much head, but then it's not a sexual addiction, though, right?
I'll never know.
Whatever. Tribe, no bad days. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in and out.
All right. Good shit, TJ.
No bad days. I noticed that I was screaming it. It's like, and I listen. Okay, first of all, I am a fan of the Sophisticatedly Ratchet Podcast. And when I listen to us and when I watch us, I was like doing the meditation too. So I was like taking my deep breath in, my eyes closed, and I heard the sound, and then all I heard is no bad days. I'm like, ooh, that was jarring. So I don't want to jar anyone anymore. So no
jar
bad
people.
days.
Fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that. Y'all,
Okay.
let's wake him up. This is Sophisticatedly Ratchet, all right?
Okay,
All right, so now to top off the sophisticated part of our podcast.
Why you kicked off a segment so crazy though?
Because he's ready for his word of the week.
Because we're gonna go to we're gonna go to word of the week.
Word of the week.
We should come up with a dance. Can we all go to the left first and then the right?
No, I'm not doing that shit for him.
Yeah, I like it. I'll sing, but I ain't gonna dance for the dance.
Y'all really got me doing the word of the week.
Then he gonna be commanding niggas, dance, niggas. You know it's my show. This is my part.
Dance, monkey, dance.
I'm good.
I was already lip syncing, nigga.
Especially Flash.
Nah, I've been lip syncing, bro. Check the recording, bro.
Oh gosh.
This little emoji looks just like you too, Shake. Look at this. You got the glasses and everything.
Yo, all right. So today's word of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm your boy Shake, and I'm here to present today's word of the week. All right. Can I get my applause? No, calm down.
He is so crazy.
After he asked for it.
Right.
This is his moment. Let him have it.
They ain't have no more.
So the word of the week for today is avarice, right?
Ooh.
It means extreme greed for wealth or material gain, right? So today our episode is about greed. So this word goes hand in hand with the episode, all right? So avarice, like I said, extreme greed for wealth. So I'm gonna use that in a sentence, right? The corporate market is plagued by avarice and greed. Avarice.
I mean, how you use the same shit, nigga? I want to be no, bro.
No. Yeah, like
you just
this
said
is his own segment. We had to bump him. Like, no, you can't.
We're gonna bump you up your segment, bro.
All right. So the corporate world is just plagued with avarice. All right.
Good job.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You just want to say shit.
Shut up.
He be trying.
Word.
Yes.
Right.
I'd have stuck with something simple like the U.S.'s avarice is gonna be its downfall.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. No, but I like how you tied this word in though, Shay, because it ties into the episode. So
absolutely. So it'll be easier for you guys to use the word. I'm not always gonna make it this easy, but today it was a perfect word to use.
For yourself,
It was a perfect word to use. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Let me just get my notes out and get it started. All right.
Y'all funny, yo.
Okay.
You should have went for twin real quick.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
While he gets
we doing 2020? Go ahead. Do your thing, girl.
Yeah.
All right, tribe. You can listen to us everywhere you hear podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Amazon has podcasts as well. Then hop on over to our social media. We are at So Ratchet Podcast on IG. We're at So Ratchet Podcast on Twitter. On TikTok, we're at So Ratchet Pod on Twitter. We are on So Ratchet Space Podcast on YouTube, where you can see our beautiful and handsome faces.
Yes.
And hit the like button right now, hit the follow button right now, hit the subscribe button right now, hit the notifications bell right now. All the buttons that support us, supporting the tribe, getting more tribe members to hear our shit and become more sophisticatedly ratchet with us, because you're already sophisticatedly ratchet. Just come on in. Okay? That's it. I'm done.
All right. Thank you, TJ.
Yeah.
King. TJ, I want to thank you for that right there. You guys don't just make sure you hit that follow button right. Let me cut off my ring now. All right. So let's hit that follow button right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right. It's right down there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't forget to like our shit, all right? Come on.
You just spent a whole 30 seconds saying that, my nigga.
Right, he's still promoting that shit. Come on, nigga.
I need to call them to action again, because they just think it's part of the episode. They just be dancing and shit. They not listening to subscribe shit. Like, no.
I feel like you disrespecting the tribe. Like, you call the tribe all different types of wild shit.
Right, people that can't find the button. All right,
can't find the button. It's right there on the bottom.
Shake.
Like
you
it,
shaking
okay?
them down from here. That's crazy shit.
Because they
You
have
know
to
what?
be shaken down.
Do your thing,
They
shit.
have to be.
Show
All
me
right.
that shit.
So today's episode is about greed, ladies and gentlemen. Greed. All right. Greed. When I think of greed, I think of it being an unstoppable, obsessive desire to have more and more and more. And there's never a time when you think, you know what, I have enough. I think of a person who will stop at nothing in their attempt to fulfill their own selfish desires in order to line their own pockets, right? Which is different from a glutton. So sometimes we confuse it with the word glutton, right? So glutton is a person who will stop at nothing to overindulge on his appetite, right? He doesn't actually need food, but still obsesses with overindulgence. This person is never satisfied with some, so even when he has enough, he still stuffs more in, like he still stuffs his face, right? Another word is avarice, which is our word of the day, right? This is where a person's greed has become so self-serving that it has become an end in itself, and it is described as an obsessive compulsion to acquire more than normally necessary, like big houses, fast cars, yachts, and this is basically because of their desire for personal status, right? An example would be like a kid clutching his toys to his chest, right? But his arms just keep growing longer so he can hold on to more things that he'll never need, right? So that's that. So this is our word of this is what our subject for today's episode is. It's greed. TJ, I don't know what your face look like that for. Okay, get it together.
I don't agree with it. That's why.
You don't agree with it?
No, I want to live a life of abundance. I want to be on yachts. I want to be on private planes, and I don't feel like that's greed.
You got it.
And that's 100% your opinion, and you're allowed to have that opinion because you know this is sophisticatedly ratchet, and we're gonna talk about it. All right.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into the first question. Right? Do you guys think greed? Right? Greed. Is it human nature or is it an acquired trait?
It's an acquired trait. It's an acquired trait, 100%.
It's an acquired trait. I think it's human nature, honestly.
No, I mean that's the reason why I don't think it is because as a kid, I don't think I was instinctually greedy. I think, well, you know what? Let me take that back. I think that I was raised to share, right? Okay. And I was taught to share more than I was taught to keep for myself. And I think that not everyone raises their children that way, you know, and I think that I got a chance to see what it's like when you let your kid be greedy and you let your kid, this is my toys, no, and y'all can play with it when I feel like letting y'all play with it. That experience is completely different. But I don't think that's like, you know, I don't know if it's instinctual or not.
But this is my thing. This is why I feel like he said, is greed human? What did you say? Human nature or is it an acquired?
Human nature or is an acquired trait? Is it something that is okay? Go ahead. You understand?
Yeah. So I was saying it's human nature because I think about baby Flash. Okay. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, as even a newborn, you're probably getting titty fed, and you may not know it even in that moment because you don't probably even have memories of it or whatnot. But you were probably given things, and especially like titty milk or something like that. And it's like you probably wanted more of it, and you wanted more and more of it. But there's some outside force that gets to tell you, like, no, you can't have more of this. So, you know, your greed may have been in check before you even knew what it was. So I say it's human nature because I think it's something that we can gain instinctively from just trying to survive or just feeling things like hunger. You know, it's like you want more food sometimes, or maybe you're not even hungry and you still want more, and that's kind of where greed, you know, sets in and whatnot, because maybe you don't know, like, there should be a limit for certain things, but it's something that I think you learn limit. But I feel like greed is something that you can just instinctively do because you're never sure, like, how much of this am I supposed to ever have right away. You know, I
think greed is I also think it's human nature because I feel like you have to be taught to share when you're a kid. Like that's something you don't have to teach kids to be greedy. You know what I'm saying? Because they just it instinctually comes to them. You know what I mean? It instinctually comes to them like, I want to keep all my toys to myself. I want to keep all this, especially if you're like an only child. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna get at.
You know, like you don't know how to share because you're not around other people, and it doesn't instinctually come to you. Let me just share this with people. Somebody teaches you this.
Right.
This is something.
But is it greed though? Because they don't want to share because they have not been taught it.
Yeah, that's greed.
Yeah, it's greed.
Well, being greedy.
He's making a valid point about it being something that's
if nobody teaches you to share, you'll be greedy your whole life. Right. You know what I'm saying? You think it's okay that you don't share? Like an example would be like
no one teaches it to you. Yeah.
An example would be like invite your friend over to come chill with you, and you play video games the whole time, and don't even let them play. Don't show them right. You just care about your own self. You just you like it's my game. You can't play.
Yeah, so, it's crazy.
You know,
I had one of those neighbors.
It's like, and this is my thing too. If you know you got a 2-player game and you got an extra controller, you supposed to really tell somebody like, yo, jump in on this. Mario Brothers,
bro.
All these fucking games and shit that was like built for like showing how to share. You got to share a space, environment. You know,
bro. You know how different that is now for kids, though. Like you're talking in the context where you have memory cards where you be able to take one out and put it into a fucking game, bro. There's none of that.
Now play from your house, bro. Hit me up from your house. Like get on my
right. This is a completely different experience to come and playing with other people now. Like
I mean, not
how
really.
Do you teach a kid not to be greedy now?
If they come over your crib and shit, and then you still you have another controller, but you still won't let them play, that shit's not fair. Like you can still be greedy with the game. You know what I mean? Like you can, but like I said, it's something that we sharing is something that we're taught. It's something that we learn, and we grow from it. All right.
It's funny you said that because I was feeling. What's the 2 words again? I'm sorry, I'm asking.
Okay, is it human nature or an acquired trait?
So I feel like it's an acquired trait. The examples that you guys gave were great because, someone has to be taught this. But I feel like if you've never been without, like people that are greedy, especially with food, is maybe because they don't always have enough, so they want to hold it, you know what I'm saying? And they don't want to share it because, like it's like they want to make sure that they have. So I feel like it may be coming from a period of them having like a drought of not having, or having a situation of not having. And so then they want to make sure that they have, and it can be looked at as greed. And I feel like, it's based on your experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're the only child and you've never had to learn how to share, or no one's ever taught you to share, then of course you're going to be like, with your toys all to yourself until you're taught that. So I get what you're saying. I see it both ways, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I see it. I see what you're saying though. What about you, Mo? How you feel? Human nature or acquired trait?
I feel like it's both. Excuse me. It could be acquired. Because it could be learned behavior. That's how you can acquire it. Or sometimes it's just human nature because, after a while, as you grow up in life, you realize, I want more. So that's kind of when the greed, sets in, and that's human nature. No one taught you that. That's just from you looking at or idolizing things or in your life or want to be better. So then you start getting fixated on whatever it is it might be. And that's when it becomes, greed. Like, okay, I want this, I want that. So then you become greedy and no one might have taught you that. So that's like a human nature thing. So that's why I kind of see it both ways. Yeah.
I get that. It can definitely be both ways. 100%.
Do you think that instilling, do you think altering or modifying the amount of greed you allowed your kid to continue to use, I guess, I don't know, to allow them to be more successful in life? Like you think allowing them to be a tad bit more greedy would allow them to be more ambitious or allow them to be more successful in some ways?
It depends on the teachings that you that you put along with the greed. It can't just be greedy. Just be greedy. Keep shit to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be like, be greedy for a reason. Like, this is why you can't give this away. This is why you have to hold on to this yourself. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't want to be giving everything away anyway. I don't want my kid giving all their shit away. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, son, hold on to your shit. You need that. Like, but you have to also instill a lesson onto why they need to keep this and what they need to do with it and how they get.
But I don't feel like keeping it is greed.
You don't feel like keeping it as greed?
Well,
this
is the thing.
Selfish is greed.
But it depends on the context.
And it depends on what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I think about kids, like one of the situations where you could probably see if a kid is super greedy is maybe you have one kid that has like a bunch of toys around them, whether they're their own or they belong to somebody else. And it's like another kid might come into the area and like what happens in that interaction? Does the kid share, maybe the small bit of toys with the next kid, or does the kid say, no, these are mine. I'm playing with all of these. And then the child is still kind of fiddles with just one toy, but not letting the other kid like even experience a toy. I feel like that can be seen as greed. And of course, it's like the opposite of greed is generosity or whatnot. So it's more or less like, does your kid know when to be generous and when to also say like, hey, I'm playing with this toy now and this is mine. It's not that I can't share with you, just that I'm currently active in using and utilizing this toy. And there are 3 other toys here and you can play with any one of these right now, just not this one, So
I think I shared. I didn't have I don't feel like I had a problem sharing, and I'm speaking as an only child. I may have had a lot of toys, but I shared it. I don't feel like I was like, no, this is mine.
You had cousins and stuff stop by, or who
was
it?
Me.
Tiffany would stop by all the time.
And she had a million fucking toys, and I loved playing with her toys because she was the only child, and we felt like she was spoiled. She had the dollhouse and the doll.
You know why
they felt like I was spoiled, but I would share.
You were, because I had 2 kids. I had my sister, and so we shared.
But that doesn't mean I was spoiled because
she shared because she hit you with buy wins. She was like, "Can I hold that doll?" She was like, "Yeah, buy win."
No, but that's what I'm saying.
When you gonna let me play with the doll, Bo?
See, the difference wasn't that I was spoiled. Like, it was stuff that I got for Christmas or whatever. It wasn't like spoiled is when you just. My mother's not the type that's gonna spoil me if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. That's number one.
That's true.
I'll tell you that. That's a fact. So that's why I don't necessarily feel like I was spoiled. But
maybe you weren't,
I weren't, but in your eyes, because
in my eyes as a kid, because you had so many good things. You had the RV. She had the Barbie RV,
like the driving
house.
Yeah.
The toy. Okay.
The toy. The toy. She had the Barbie RV. She had the swimming pool with the house and shit.
Did Barbie have a jet?
If they did, Mo had it. If
I did not have a jet.
Mo had
I had a mobile home,
everything.
and then I actually had a dollhouse. It was a 3-layer, like one in the middle part, and then it was a big dollhouse. It was big, and we played in it. We shared.
Barbie was a hobo.
Who you think Barbie's father was? Who you think she get this money from? Like, she just popped out with mad bread. She got boats, horses, yachts.
She's a sugar baby. Barbie is sugar baby. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Definitely
she did. Mo had every shoe, every outfit. We'd be like, "Yo, let's take some Mo's shoes." You know what I'm saying?
And I had a big bag where it was like a comforter bag.
Yes,
all my Barbies went with the clothes.
It was clear. I remember it.
Yeah, it was clear.
Barbie was basic before Ken. You know what I'm saying? Ken came from money. That's what happened.
No way. Barbie been stunting.
Barbie had money.
Barbie, she come from mad money. Barbie got a Malibu penthouse, my nigga. Ken ain't had that penthouse.
TJ used to beat up on her Barbie though. Well, I don't know who was
tear up
the head, shoot the foot and stuff, and my Barbies were still intact.
Why did you shoot the foot?
I can't play with all of that.
Because it tastes good. I mean, they're just like something chewing.
Moving on. Next question, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a truth to that. There's a truth to that.
It is. Okay.
Off topic.
Okay, so the next question, ladies and gentlemen, how do you define success and wealth, and to what extent do you associate them with greed?
So I'll just say I think they're all different things. I don't even think success nor wealth. I mean, I feel like they don't apply directly to greed. I feel like when I think of success, I think of like something I did for myself and a goal that I wanted to do and I achieved it. It could be something super small as far as like get up and meditate. It could be something huge as far as like, make $100,000 or some shit like that. Like it just depends on what I'm defining as success. And I have many successes in the day. I count all my small successes. I do feel like even as far as what I think about wealth, I don't think, I'm trying to think how I view wealth. Wealth is just, I guess, the things I find valuable in my life. And I feel like I'm wealthy because of like all the things and not necessarily just like money per se. So I view wealth as like just an abundance of all the things I've acquired, knowledge, physical items, and whatever else. And when I think about greed, it's just like I have to constantly evaluate, like, do I have enough of, said thing? And if I do, to where it keeps me satisfied, am I overdoing it? Like, is there an end goal in sight for me? So I think greed just kind of like blinds me to that, and so that's kind of where
blinds you. Okay.
Yeah, greed will blind me.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mo. I'll let you go first.
No, I was gonna say, when I look at success and wealth, so if you're wealthy, whether it be, excuse me, monetary wise, knowledge wise, to me, it becomes greed when you have the knowledge and you can support someone else in it, and you don't. To me, that's greedy. When you know what I mean? When you can really pour into somebody else with bringing someone else or whatever, then it's greedy because you have the wealth, you have the knowledge, you have the money. And if a person is trying, not that you give it to them, and you can have them work toward it, but you're like mentoring them and kind of teaching them how to, come on the level that you are. But if you just choose not to, because it's just like, well, to me, that's when it could be a little greedy, and we understand that because some people feel like, I worked hard for this. No one taught me how to do it. So I'm not going to teach somebody else to do it. And I think that's part of the problem. If you have enough where everybody could win, and I'm not saying for you just to hand it over to them, but give the person a framework or, mentoring them to do something or showing them how to exceed, and may not giving them everything because, like you said, you worked hard for it. To me, I think that's when it can become, greedy. That's just me.
Yeah, I got you.
It's funny you say that. So for me, the way that I define success and wealth is someone, everyone I think has a different definition of what success looks like for them.
For them, absolutely.
Yeah. And even wealth too. I don't feel like, I don't agree with you, Mo, in the sense that if I don't share, because I feel like if someone asks me, I would not mind helping them, or sharing with them. But if I don't see that really as greed. It's just, I just don't want to teach somebody. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they ask you, but there's certain people that may ask people things. That's different.
Okay,
Nobody's just going to willingly give you the information.
You
have to
no, because I have, in my situation, sometimes I have like in my family, you know what I mean? Like I have my, I'm not going to even put it out there. Yeah. My little sister, like I want her to do a lot more. And, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You know what I'm saying?
But
so I don't want to.
Right. It's a difference when someone doesn't want to do something or someone is coming to you and you have the information and you don't choose not to correct. That's what I'm talking about as far as being greedy. Because if the person is seeking you, like, hey, like I see this, like I see you're wealthy in this, and you're just kind of like, oh well, go and look it up, or you know what I mean, without giving them like a little hint of, hey, well, you could start off by looking up here and then look that up and tell me, and then come back to me, like kind of giving them, like assisting them because you have the wealth of knowledge, they're coming to you, and I'm saying but it's not going to be somebody that doesn't want something is not going to come to you for it. But if you're a wealthy person, whether it be knowledge or money, and they're saying, hey, listen, I've been watching you, or I've noticed you've done this, and you may say, it hasn't been easy. I can give you the framework for it. Come back, let me know what you know what I mean, because you want them to do the work too, but they have to come to you asking for that opinion. I don't feel like anybody just going to come out willingly and just do anything, because what is that going to do? If the person is seeking you and you know that the person is, then
I agree. I feel like, having people supporting other people below you or to help them get to where you are is important when you have success and wealth. And there's more than enough in this world for everyone to be successful and wealthy. Everybody can eat. I just feel like I don't want, in my head, because I want like the finer things in life, I don't want to associate that with greed, because I feel like greed it has a very negative connotation. You know what I mean? So I see it as, so I don't see it as greed unless you are doing like negative things. You know what I mean? Like you have it and you're doing like maybe illegal things to get more.
Fucking up the environment and shit. Stepping over people and shit and ruining them just to get
things like you're stealing. You know what I'm saying? Like you already have and you're stealing, and you like the Madoffs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like those type of people that are greedy. Like they have and they just want more, and they by any means necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think with wealth, I think you have to have a little bit of greed or selfishness, to become monetarily wealthy. Because you could be wealthy in other things, like Flash is saying, wealthy.
But is it greed though?
That's what I was saying. It's not greed to me.
So
right.
and I get what you're saying, no shade. But sometimes I think a lot of those are just goals and not necessarily like greed in a sense.
I mean, I feel like you guys are giving greed a negative connotation all the time. I don't know if it's always negative. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes you have to be greedy with the things that you have because that's what you need to build. You know what I'm saying? Some people are quick. So some people are so quick to share that they're not building, and then they end up stuck in that same spot. Like you got people who's below them dragging them down while they're trying to pull up. And sometimes you got to leave those people behind and go up and then come back for them. You know what I'm saying?
You could be greedy or selfish with your time because you're so focused on your goal. You know what I'm saying? That you're not giving time to your kids. You're not giving time to your wife or to your responsibilities. You know what I mean? Because you're just so focused on whatever you have to do. Maybe that in that sense, I can see it.
And then also what you were saying as far as, if you're doing something wrong, like you basically ruining someone in order to like take whatever they have, or you fucking like destroying the environment, not giving a fuck about your kid's future because it's gonna save you a few bucks. Or if you fire somebody, if you fire some people to save your company a little bit of money, even though you're making millions of dollars already, like that's fucking great. But people do that shit all the time, and successful people do things like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's when it becomes. I feel like that's when it becomes a bad kind of greed, when people are negatively impacted by your greed. You know what I'm saying? Even
I
when
agree
it's
with
greed
that.
with time, like you said, like you're not spending any time with your kids when you're too greedy with your time, and you're worried about this, and you're not worried about your kids and their well-being. You know what I mean?
Right. And the correlation that you use was impacted, and that's the key word. When it impacts, I think that's when it's when it's
other people in a negative way.
In a negative way.
Absolutely.
I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think that I agree with you in terms of success being, self-defined. We define, how successful we are or what success is to us. That can change over time for some people, but I also agree with Shake as well. I think you need to be greedy also. You need to be greedy with your time. You need to be greedy with your priorities. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that the opposite of greed is generosity, right? So, that's a really key part of it. Like, I can be greedy, but I can also be generous too, so it is a sin, but it's also a necessity in some ways.
Yeah, you got to find a balance.
In some ways,
I think it's a balance so that you're not avarice, know?
Oh, check you out.
Give my ding. I'm ready to play.
I know. I was waiting to use my word. Go ahead.
Let's play again.
Cool down. Yeah. Damn, it was something. Oh, so I was thinking, the whole time we was talking about like greed, right? I was thinking about like corporate greed, right? Yeah. And I was thinking about ways in which it's impacted us the most. And I think one of the most influential or impactful ways is self-checkout. There used to be so many physical cashiers that used to work for companies and restaurants and stores and supermarkets, and self-checkout has eliminated so many roles, like so many positions for people, right?
You feel like that's greed?
For the companies, because those people who, just like you said, y'all always say it, if it negatively impacts people, is greed, right? Now think about how self-checkout has caused so many people to lose their jobs.
But hold up. I like self-checkout. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm one.
Hold on. Wait. I want you to like self-checkout too. But self-checkout is also a fucking breeding house for greed for people who want to steal from self-checkout as well. So it's like a double-sided knife.
But I'm sure when they compare the ROI, their return on investment,
it's
how
still
much
better.
They would be spending as opposed to how much they're losing and people
how much
stealing.
people are stealing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they have
right, because And I'm pretty sure because even if you're doing self-checkout, you cannot steal everything that you're checking out.
Yeah, you can
may
steal
be able
something.
to,
I mean, you
may be
not
able
to
to
pat
put
nobody
2 or
back,
3
you
items.
know. I mean, but
I'm
you
just
can get a couple things out of self-checkout.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you're going to pay for something. So if you get 5 items, you're going to pay for one of them. You get what I'm saying? You're still paying for something.
Maybe.
I mean, here's my thing though.
But I also feel like that's not greed from a company. You know what I mean? A company is about making money. All right. And so if they have to hire less people and have these machines working for them so that they can have more money, that's a business win. You know what I'm saying?
Like, do you think that people justify their thievery
giant,
with that mindset? Do you think people go into it thinking they got it like that? They know they can afford this. They saving money for not having people here. Let me steal this plasma TV. You think
I don't think people are thinking. No, I think people are just doing it because nobody's thinking about that when you're just trying to get over.
I don't think people are thinking about that. I think they're just trying to get over.
What I feel like is the impact that it has. Now, if let's say that this corporate company, instead of using all of these people that they used to use on the in the aisles, now I'm using them to like check people out. Now they have them in the aisles helping people and assisting people.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they repurpose people like that, I can see it as not being greedy. Just a better way to operate their store. You feel what I'm saying?
I'll give you another example. T-Mobile fired a huge chunk of their technical staff. Huge, like no warning. They just call them one morning. Hey, look, we have to let y'all go. Boom, that's it. That's the end of that whole workforce. They saved a ton of money. Is that greed?
I mean,
it's a business move.
It depends. It depends.
Is that greed? Yes or no?
So this is the thing, and I'm gonna be honest.
It may not be. How many people was coming in to get technical support as opposed to calling over the phone to get the technical support? So you have to weigh those things.
Yeah, they have to. It depends on their bottom line and how they've analyzed it in their expenses and
also
the impact. Like
how do you feel about people who exploit government assistance? People that get they get like they get WIC or they get a card.
You talking about rich people? You talking about rich people who are getting it?
I'm talking. Yes.
There are rich people who are getting it. I don't want to name that group. I don't want to name that group of people because Kanye got banned for saying these people. But I'm just saying that these people,
know who they are.
These people live in fucking mansions, and me as a mailman, I would deliver them food stamp shit because they were in there collecting food stamps. I shit you not.
How you knew it was food stamps in the middle?
Bro, public assistance, bro.
Yeah. And that's why for me, and people can say I'm wrong, that's why I think there's certain requirements that needs to be done when you're getting food stamps. Like you gotta be drug tested. I think you should be drug tested. All of these things because my money's paying for that. So these are things that I'm requiring.
Tax dollars
is paying for it. So certain requirements that these individuals need to go through, in my opinion, whether that be drug testing, whether that be weekly, you have to show what jobs you're looking for, things of that nature. Those are things that I would want to see. And that's because my money paying for that.
And I think the system is set up in a way that people can be avarice with it. You know what I mean?
She's on
fire.
But the truth is, if it was set up the way that most had it set up, then people could use it to help them and then move on. You know what I mean? Like I know people that were like, yo, if I spend more money on if I get this promotion, I get less money and then I have to pay more money in my rent. And so it keeps them in that like toggle space of not ever even being able to get off of the assistance. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be set up. So it's only going to help you for this amount of time. So you get to figure it out. Right. You know what I mean? It keeps people stagnant on it.
I think that's how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work like that, but it just doesn't sometimes.
It doesn't.
Because people just
the way it's set up. Right. Because the way it's set up. If it's set up with the boundaries that Mo just mentioned and other things, then it would allow them to do it.
And then you'll have kids out here hungry in these streets. Like it is what it is. I mean, your kid's gonna be hungry because you do fucking drugs. I'm sorry, son. Like I feel like I don't know. It's
not that your kids are going to be. It's not that your kids are going to be hungry because you do drugs. You need to identify somebody else. Identify a grandmother where that food could go to. So the grandmother's monitoring that money and ensuring that your kids is eating. I could put the system into place. I could put the system into place. So if you are a parent and you're using, please identify a resource. You have a mother. Your mother will come forward, take a drug. She's not okay. The money will go to her. How about that? She will now ensure that your children are eating and doing
just
those
because
things
I do coke don't mean I don't feed my kids. Okay.
Well, I'm not saying that. It's
Well,
always
you
an
just said
impact.
that.
You have to. You said you brought it up. You brought it
that
up.
shit up.
But I'm saying there's functioning.
I definitely did catch you down at the Key Food talking about I got food stamps. You want to give me some cash for that? I definitely caught you at the Key Food.
It's functioning addicts, right? It's functioning addicts, and that's what you need to show. Is your money going to the drugs or is it going to feed your children? What's going on?
Yo, Mo, I just feel like somebody's always gonna figure out a way how to game the system. It don't matter how tight you try to make it. No matter what boxes you try to put them in, they're gonna figure out a way around that shit.
And they can figure that out, but it'll be less, but it'll be more stringent. You know what I mean? It's gonna take you a while to figure it out. And we always know it's gonna be a backhanded for everything, and that's fine too. That's part of life.
But you know what I was thinking? All right, go ahead, though. I know you want to go to the next shit.
What was you thinking? What was you thinking, Flash? Let's finish your thought, bro.
No, we was talking about businesses and like, can businesses be greedy? And TJ was like, yeah, that could just be a business decision. When I think about it, I'm sitting here like, I think like shit, like slavery was a business decision. Like
it was. They were greedy. They were greedy,
and it was greed, right? It was greed. America wanted more money. They
but it was smart. Manpower. It was smart. It was free labor.
Right, and that in itself is like,
wow, TJ, stop justifying business. Like, God damn,
I'm not justifying. I'm just saying,
slavery was avarice. It was
right.
It was avarice.
It was avarice. Yep.
Slavery, TJ.
Well, I mean,
it
was a hard. It was
harsh, but it was
despicable.
But they did that for wealth. They sold labor.
To use free labor, like they made profit off of nothing.
Ridiculous amounts of labor.
Let's not discredit the lives. It was a lot of lives.
Of course,
they definitely made it off of something. Right. But I think that is a great example of greed. That is one of the best examples that I could think of. I was going to start naming corporations, but then we started talking about the transatlantic slave trade. That is mad.
Facts.
That is like as greedy as you could be because the whole foundation.
As a matter of fact, I was watching Woman King the other day, and you remember the part. If you watched it, you remember the part with the Brazilian guy was trying to take the slaves with him on the boat when they started attacking. He tried to keep at least a few slaves, so he had something because he was just greedy. He didn't care about his life. He could have got out of there on his own, but he decided to take the slaves with him because he wanted something. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. You become so greedy you don't even care about your own life. That's what's so happening
true.
Sometimes.
It's so true.
But on to the next question. Okay, and the next question is, ladies and gentlemen, should there? Oh, okay. This is kind of a critical thinking one right here. Should there be a limit on how much personal wealth one person can acquire?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no on that too.
No, why are you watching my money?
Oh wait, is this a burner question?
No. It's a talking point.
Okay.
It's a talking point. You know what I mean?
Who am I supposed to review my bread with? Like, I mean, other than the IRS, like the taxes, like.
Let's talk about somebody like Elon Musk or like
Bezos
or Bezos with like billions and billions. Shouldn't it be like a cap?
Because it's gonna trickle down. Like, there's nothing once you start giving it to them. And I know it's going to trickle down to me somehow, some way. There's going to be something that says like, Flash, you can't make more than $4 million a year, and I got to find a way to be mad about that. I don't want nobody in my pockets like that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sounds like communism, right?
Yeah,
but it's not greed because he's successful,
right? And this is the thing. I already feel like Black people ain't in no position to be like we got enough. So it's like, nah, I don't want to be put in no box that ever says like how much personal wealth I'm allowed to gain, because there's people who've either gained the system or have had so much of a head start that I don't need to be put in no box as far as like how much I should be allowed to earn, make, or create as far as like wealth, money, or
I do think
so what if they don't put it on you, but on? Go ahead, Mash. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I do think there should be like a generosity tax. Like once you making a certain number
trillion,
of money,
I agree. Yeah,
once you start getting up there's like generosity tax. Like we just because you got to give us some of that.
You got to,
right? I would agree with that.
Generosity. Well, this is a hypothetical world because this is what we like to live because we can't make no fucking changes to this government. But in this place, that money will actually be allocated to things that you could see. Like this money is going to go to education. And how we're going to use this? We're going to install new schools here. We're going to give them new laptops. We're going to give them new VR headsets. This is the future here. That's
but how does that work though? Because where does that money really get situated? I think that's even a deeper issue because it's it's like when you already have like state taxes, you understand like people in different areas are funding
across the planet,
well, then,
bro.
I don't know about the planet because we can't all share money and economies like that.
See that you missing my hypothetical. You missing my hypothetical. In my hypothetical world, we taxing people who make trillions of dollars. There ain't a lot of people who make trillions of dollars, right? There ain't
there's nobody that make trillions. We only have billionaires right now. Boom, companies that make trillions. So
let's say this.
Well, then the companies need to have a generosity tax.
Whoever's making $1 billion has to pay a generosity tax. That generosity tax is spread across the globe. We would have no world hunger. That should be done. It'd be a wrap.
Yo, this billionaire is paying less in taxes than you, my G, because they know how to get around. They know how to get around that shit. They hire the right people. They got smart people behind them. But do you think that's greed, or do you think that's just being smart?
I'm gonna look it up again.
It's business savvy, in my opinion, but a lot of these big companies, they know that they have to move the money around a certain way. So they are being philanthropists. They are creating their own 501c3. What is that called? Whatever.
They give back. They give back.
Yeah, they give back in a way. They're creating their own little philanthropy type of businesses.
Nonprofit organization.
Yes.
Like they give back.
$40 billion is what it would take to end world hunger.
That's $40 billion.
$40 billion.
Yeah. So if we figure out how to do a worldwide generosity tax.
Here's the problem.
Ooh, I like that, Bash.
Yeah.
Today.
$40 billion. Who do you give it to end this world hunger? How do we know greed isn't going to take over that person?
Well, here's the thing. In my hypothetical world, we got a generosity division, and they have full disclosure here. The generosity division, they handles all the bookkeeping. All right, they make sure everybody keep it clean out here. They even got an investigation group that watches them, because nobody trusts.
I'm sure that exists. It's like the UN and then the WHO. You know what I mean? That's world organizations.
Generous.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It exists. Under the UN, like where all the people come together. You're right. It can exist. The UN, the WHO, those are world organizations. It's not that hypothetical. The WHO is the World Health Organization. And that's where all the countries talk about health and in the world.
Like all the
and then the UN is all about, government.
United Nations.
Yeah, United Nations. That's like all the different government or all the different countries, right?
Shake, you get in world hunger if you shook everybody down, Shake, and had the generosity tax created, you get in world hunger, bro. I'm not saying you have to, but that's something you could do. Just putting it out there.
Gotta shake them down.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know how I feel about generosity taxes because I already feel the way when I pay some of these bills and they be having all type of fees on the shit.
It's not for you. It's not for you.
See, that's the problem with you broke people. You broke people with a billionaire conversation. They said corporations out here. That's a nameless person. That's like self-checkout. You're crying for self-checkout.
That ain't you.
Saying, when people
what you
start
saying,
taking
bro?
from you, when people start taking from you without your permission.
Ain't nobody taking from you, dog.
You're not wealthy, bro.
I am wealthy, nigga. What the fuck wrong with you?
But you're not in this corporation.
With your knowledge and shit. We don't want that.
Be nice, Shake.
Which is success as well. We can't take to the bank. We can't do shit with that.
I can't believe y'all.
Like what that shit?
I just think it's important for us to make sure that we understand who the villains are and who the heroes are. All right, we can't start hacking, making back exit for these niggas for no reason. No, this is who the people we talking about. Those are the people who need to pay the generosity tax, not you, my boy, not you.
Not you.
I'm just saying when I get there. Okay, that's it.
I hear you.
All right. If nobody else has nothing for that, right?
So then that means you're greedy, Flash. Because when you get there, if you're saying you have billions and if you could support the world being
Get your hand out my pocket.
You know
what he's saying, and we know who's Avarice here.
Exactly.
You know why I don't like that? It was because
number 3.
All right, you got that. But look, people will see you not do one thing and think you're a greedy person because of that, and they don't understand like what I still do when I don't have to tell nobody. It's like whether I give out food, pay for some, a homeless person's food or something like that. Whatever it is, it's like people don't see all of that. And if I owned a corporation, I would more than likely already be savvy of wanting to do those things. Where it's like I don't need the government to interfere with my shit because there's probably things that I already have like a direct focus on that I want to invest in, especially like black shit. So I get it, but I'm just also saying like it would come naturally with any corporation that I would be involved in. That's all.
Flash.
In your hypothetical.
Yeah, your avarice is ridiculous.
What?
Thank
It's
you.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, you know why
I say
you know why I
say that?
You know why I know y'all lying?
You know,
wait,
no. I let you go. I let you go.
ahead.
You know why I say that? Because
Wow.
you talk about making billions of dollars and then giving one homeless person food. That's
You don't know what I
do. It was leftovers.
Wow.
It wasn't even like, let me take you to dinner. It was leftovers.
Nobody
We know
wants cold
who's
fries.
average in this
Homeless people don't even like cold fries.
I also said donating to an organization that I know I'm zoned in on. That's part of it as well. But I know y'all ain't so fucking innocent, because how many times y'all see the fucking commercials with the sad dogs and shit, and it only costs 8 cents a day. And how many of y'all dialed the number? How many of y'all gave back?
Nigga, have you dialed the number?
No, I haven't.
There
haven't.
you go.
No, I haven't.
Yourself. Talk about yourself. Start with yourself.
I haven't.
Okay.
For years. And I've been seeing this shit for
St.
years.
Jude? Okay.
I ain't donating to St. Jude. No,
I get my
I'm
stuff
a
from St. Jude's. Yeah.
I'm a different type of donator.
And shit around little boy and shit. You could adopt a little boy in Africa and shit, bro. You ain't never did that shit.
Did you dial, Jake? Did you dial?
You know what's crazy? I got beat by them one time.
I actually did though, bro.
Me too.
I used to adopt.
Me too. I almost adopted a
person. It was about 10 years ago though. You know what I'm saying?
I was working downtown Manhattan, and I used to walk past City Hall Park, and there would be these people standing on the corners, like, you know, trying to get people to, like, you know, sign up for these, you know, people who homeless and have a pen pal. So I signed my little sister up for a pen pal, and homeboy never wrote us back. He never. We paid him money, and he never wrote us back. I was like, yo, the pen ain't penning, like the pal ain't palling, because he never hit us back ever.
Oh, wow.
I never messed with it after that.
I was also in the train station the other day. They pulled me over to ask me to donate to like autism and shit like that, and I donated $50 to autism.
Wow.
Give me a hand, bro.
No, wow. But why?
No, because my family, because someone in my family is impacted by it, and I feel like these folks is necessary. So I did donate to autism, and I do shit like that from time to time, depending on how I feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I see a dude that comes out there and I really feel his story, like a homeless person, I don't give money to every fucking homeless person, but every once in a while, I'll look at a person and I'll feel his story, and I'll be like, you know what? Here, let me give him some money and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, go eat something. You know what I mean? But like, if I see if the dude is clearly like faking it, like some people look like they're faking it, real shit. Like,
some of them are
you know
real bold with it. They're like, I just want to buy a spliff. Like, I want to buy a beer. Like,
real talk.
Like,
nah, son. Nah, I'm not doing it. And I'm not saying I can always tell, but I don't. If I don't feel your story, I'm not giving you nothing.
So here's my thing.
You got to give with what you're in your heart. You know, if you're inclined and you feel it resonates with you to give to this person, then you give. You know, there's certain charities that I feel the same way about. Same thing about churches. There's some churches that I feel the same way about. You know, like, do I really want to give my money? And I see him with a private yacht and a, you know, private jet and shit. It'd be making me feel away.
10%. 10% you're supposed to be giving to the church. 10%.
All I'm saying is I've touched that church basket before, and it slid right onto the right. Okay, nothing went in it, nothing came out of it. It just
you ain't touch it. You was like, let it pass me. You know,
I was playing hot potato with that shit.
There's plenty of times that I went to church as a kid and donated, but there's plenty of times when I haven't donated.
And that's fine too. I've done it too.
But your mother gave you money for the collection plate.
Yeah, but we never put it all in the plate. We never go to the candy.
I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't giving no
I ain't gonna lie. I used to pocket that.
Yeah, after that, you home with me.
Look at y'all. Stealing from the church.
You never knew.
I just needed that money for some snacks.
Oh, yeah.
I want a honey bun. 25-cent honey bun.
Yo, okay. All right, so you want to move towards some burner questions then?
Yes, sir.
Let's get ratchet.
Burner questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, burner questions are questions that are signature to the SR podcast, Sophisticatedly Ratchet. All right, where the answers could be yes, no, or sophisticatedly ratchet. All right, all right. So hold on. All right, so the first. Wait, hold on. Let me get my burner cards. Hold up. All right.
Never prepared.
Quiet yourself. All right. So the first question, ladies and gentlemen, Alberta question. Would you consider someone who cheats to be greedy?
Ooh.
All right. So we got Flash with a nope, not nada, and all the rest of us have sophisticatedly ratchet on the board. So we're gonna go to Flash first, the one who says no, cheating is not being greedy. Flash.
No. Yeah, I don't think cheating is being greedy. I think people can label it as wrong, but you're kind of just being honest with the fact that you kind of want more, whether it's from like a physical or an emotional standpoint. And sometimes you're just being true to yourself when it comes to that. But then, I guess we got like societal norms that are like, no, you're only supposed to have one woman and marry her and this, that, and the third, a lot of the beliefs that we may not necessarily subscribe to. So part of me just understands like when anyone cheats, man or woman, it's like they are searching for or doing something that probably just resonates with them naturally anyway. It's just that sometimes we're not so open to the fact that, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that. So it's like we have to look at it cheating because you didn't create that contract with the person or your partner.
You're not in an open relationship.
Right, pretty much, right. But I don't think it's greed though. I just think it's a bad decision. You're in a bad environment for the decisions you want to make with what you're doing physically or emotionally.
I call bullshit.
Personally, I don't feel like it's greed. People that cheat, they want to have it all. Like people say that you're gonna eat their cake and have their cake and eat it too. Cake. Yeah, that's what they say.
Eating ass, TJ.
No, but I feel like cheating is something different. I don't really see it as greed. I see it as fear because you're too scared to tell your partner that you're not happy. You're scared to let go of someone else and you have somebody else. I feel like it's also deceit, because you have to lie about it, and not just be honest with your partner. So I don't feel like those things are specifically greed. To me, it's not just greed, it's other things. And that's why I said sophisticatedly ratchet. It's deceit, it's fear, it's selfishness, it's, it's a lot of other things. And yes, it is having your cake and eating it too.
I think that most of all, I think in the context in which the question is asked, I think it's more about lust. Like, I think that
if it's sexual, because some people do it and it's not sexual.
Right. But I think that I would consider someone who cheats a lot to be greedy. Someone who cheats.
So why didn't you say yes?
Well, that's why I said sophisticatedly ratchet.
A lot. You said a lot. Right?
Because I think that there are different reasons why people cheat. It's not always because of greed, like you said. Different reasons for different people. But if you're doing it a lot just because, or you doing it because you want more women, just because that's your sense of greed that you have inside of you, that's something different. So that's why I said sophisticatedly ratchet.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. My answer.
Go ahead, Shay.
Go ahead, Mo.
No,
you got it.
You go.
Okay.
Go ahead, and I'll go after you.
Okay. Well, I feel like my answer probably should be yes, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think cheating and selfishness are synonymous. I think greed and selfishness are synonymous, and I think that when you cheat, you're being greedy, right? You want to keep your partner. Right, you want to keep them around. You want to keep them for whatever reason, whatever partnership you have with this person, and you also want to be fucking around. You want to go fuck other bitches, or you want to go fuck other guys, or whatever. But you just for whatever reason.
But what's the why? What is the why?
You want both. Yeah, if
it's sex, it's a problem. If it's money, if it's companionship, it's just the consistency. It's other.
I know dudes who are in good relationships and they'll still go out and cheat, and it is what it is.
But the question still remains: is the why? Why? What incentivizes that person to do it? Because it's not always just about greed.
I mean, maybe it's their sexual appetite. Maybe the person is addicted to sex. You know what I mean?
What if it's not that? It could be. It doesn't have to be sex. It could be consistency. You know, this person is just doing everything. You know that I
this
like.
person does things that I like.
I've been hearing about the good times that my homies have when they go away on vacation, and they tell me about the stories that they have, and
all the chicks that they sleep.
Oh my god, I just want one dry. You know,
could be money too, though. Sometimes people do it for money.
Could be.
It is. Sometimes it is money. Yeah. Sometimes you know he's taking care of everything, but do I really love him? Maybe not. You know, but he does everything that I need. You know, he makes me happy in that sense. So why would I let this go? Or there's some people that just don't know how to be alone. And they're scared to be alone. You know what I'm saying? So I can have this one as a backup and this one as a backup. And if this, you know what I'm saying? Like you always have the back. So everyone has their own reasons.
And then you got a lot of women who marry squares that they're not attracted to and shit, just to have, you know,
that happy family.
No, to have that happy fam, exactly.
Yeah, I know he's gonna be here. He's gonna pick up the kids. He's gonna take care of me and all this other stuff. But when I go on vacation, I'm gonna fuck the nigga in Jamaica. I mean, there's a whole slave, not slave trade, but there's a whole sex trade. Sorry, there's a whole sex trade of these women going to Jamaica to fuck these, you know, Jamaican men.
I've heard about it. I've heard about it. That they go to Jamaica just to fuck dudes. It's real.
Yo, but you know what's wild? Isn't it more greedy because like? When I think about the statistics, like at least in America or whatever, aren't there like more women than men in the United States? So isn't it more greedy if women cheat versus like if men cheat? Because you know,
I don't know. That sounds like a shape fact.
It's not.
Look it up. Go look it up.
I'm just asking a question.
There are more women in the United States. Than that's a fact. Right.
So are they cheating more than men? Like what?
No, it's not that they cheating more. We're getting caught more. We're getting caught.
Yeah, y'all sloppy. Women are good with it.
It's not that we're sloppy, and it's not that y'all good with it. It's just that women don't know how to stay in their position. And because they don't know how to stay in their position.
You mean the side chick don't know how to stay in her position? You mean that you need to treat the side chick right?
No.
If you have a side chick that knows her role and you're treating her right, she would never talk.
You would never have to say that to you would never have to say that to a nigga. A nigga will know his role off the rip. He'd be like, "You got a man?"
Okay, absolutely not. My ex told me a whole situation. It was the side nigga that told him. He's like, I want to let you know she's cheating on both of us. He literally told me that.
He wanted her. He wanted her. He
did. So niggas do it too. It's people. It's not a woman thing. It's not a man thing.
I'm telling you, it's a woman thing. It's completely different because of that.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Experience.
Yo, no, because when I was a side nigga, I was a faithful side nigga. I'll be honest. Like I had no issues.
Because you knew your role. You knew your role.
Right. And I didn't require much either, because it's like this is what this is. And like, I was good at my role though. I will say that.
But a lot of niggas are good side niggas because they know exactly what they want. They're actually niggas love to be side niggas, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Because you got your man. Your man is supposed to buy you Christmas gifts,
everything,
birthday gifts, and give you regular dick and da-da-da. And I just come in just for the dick.
And you might get a gift. And you might get a gift.
You might.
Yeah, and they're okay with that. I'll be quiet, you know. And that's why when niggas are comfortable being, and you know that you have a man and they're comfortable just, you know, coming in, then they don't give two shits about you because they know that they're gonna be quiet, you know. Like they love to hear that you have a man so that they could do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, thank you. I know you do, Shay. Our fuckboy is confirming it.
You gonna stay in your position. You ain't
and they love to play their position. They know that you're not gonna be calling them all times of night. You're not gonna have, you know, all these requirements for them. That's your man. Let your man do that.
Yeah, fuck that. Word.
And this is why we don't get this is why nobody's telling. Well, that instance you gave, that was crazy. Like I don't Homegirl must have had the guac 10,000. He was like, "No, she mine. I would never let her go."
Your feelings get involved. Feelings get involved.
Crazy.
Okay.
But like Flash said, most dudes gonna stay in their role. I don't think it's hard to get a woman to stay in her position. It's harder to get a woman to stay in her position than to get a man to stay in his position. Side piece.
Yeah.
Because women get emotional.
Women get attached. They get attached.
Emotional.
Yeah, they get emotionally attached.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Go ahead, Mo. What was you about to say?
I don't remember what was the question.
Wait, before you answer, do you think it's because women don't want to be number two?
It's that too. It's their ego, and it's but they really get emotionally attached after a while. It depends.
I feel like a woman doesn't have to get emotionally attached if you're taking care. It's a lot of work to handle multiple women. You got to make sure you're taking care of me. If your job is, if my job as a side chick is to give you sex whenever you want it, I want my nails done, I want my hair done, I want the things. You're gonna maybe paying my rent. You got to do what you got to do. And if you start slacking on those things or buying me a bag, it's hush money. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's my hush? If you start slacking on those things, then maybe I am gonna start telling.
Oh my God!
You gotta take care of.
This whole episode, DJ is like, she just ain't shit this whole episode.
I ain't never.
It depends on what the agreement is. When you enter into the agreement, when you enter into the agreement, you know what it is on both parts. So you got to play your position. And the minute you don't play your position, that's when it's like, it's a drought, sir. What's going on?
Got you.
You know what I mean?
All right. All right. So,
but Mo, you can answer it. Just go ahead and answer your question.
I have said sophisticatedly ratchet. I think it's a combination of things, even what TJ said, confusion or not fair. And it doesn't even have to be a sexual thing. It could be an emotional thing as well. Everybody doesn't sexually cheat. Some people cheat, emotionally. And it just because it could be you're confused. You're trying to sort it out. Yeah. So I'll keep it short and brief. But
I get that. All right. So So on that note, we're gonna move on to the next burner question, ladies and gentlemen. I got another burner question for you. Okay. When a landlord raises the rent, would you consider that greed? Yes, no, or sophisticated?
When a landlord raises the rent?
When a landlord raises the rent, would you consider that greed? Okay. I see you guys are thinking about it. Okay, so we have a nope, not nada. We have a yes from Mash, a nope, not nada from Flash and TJ, and Sophisticatedly Ratchet from myself and Mo. All right.
Mo always doing two answers.
That's why Sophisticatedly Ratchet.
First person I want to go to is the yes.
I say yeah. But
then, yes. I'm sorry, yes.
But I feel like it's more sophisticatedly ratchet because then I think in my personal experiences when it comes to landlords raising the rent, it was like astronomical. When my mom was living in New York, she was paying rent at I think it was like a $1,200, right? $1,200 rent. The landlord went up to 27. He went from that to 27. He told her she had to leave 3 months.
Crazy,
right? So. Do I think it's fair? Do I think it's greed? Yes. In that instance, that is definitely greed. I get that the area in the market has gone up. You need to charge more for rent. Sure. But that much, that's insane. That's insane. You know what I mean? So I think that instance, that's greed. Yes. I think in instances.
That's why I put my answer. But go ahead.
Right. So wait. I got more.
Wait, he's still going. Go ahead.
But in an instance where you need to go up on rent because the neighborhood is getting more expensive, then that's a part of what needs to happen in general because that's a part of economics. Yeah, that's inflation. We gotta make that happen. I'm complete.
Yes. That's exactly why I said sophisticatedly ratchet because I don't at certain times we know the rent is going to be raised, and I think that's also a conversation when you have an tenant. Listen, right now this is the rent. It may raise up due to the economy, as you know, but when it's inflated $2,000 more or $1,500 more than what you're paying, I think that could be greed. But for a landlord to raise their rent, they may have to because things in the area is changing. Things are expanding. So
they built the Starbucks up the block. What you mean? Right. We ain't had that last year. What?
We have we too. We have Starbucks now. We have a crab place. We have a bus that takes us straight into the city. It's different stuff. So things is gonna be raised. So I don't think it's wrong for the landlord to raise the rent. But how much are you raising it? And is it every year? Because that's just ridiculous. Is it every 3 years? Is it So that's why I put sophisticatedly ratchet because it depends on how this is going down.
All right, so I said sophisticatedly ratchet as well. And just like you said, like if there's a Starbucks built up the block, right, that's going to automatically increase the value of my house. Okay, it's going to increase the value. All right. Now, increasing the value of my house is now going to increase the taxes on my house. Now, my thing is, I want to continue to make the same amount of profit, or maybe at least a little bit more. In line,
of course, you always want to make more, baby. You always want more.
I want to make some money in line with inflation. You understand what I'm saying? So for me to leave your rent the same economically doesn't work for me. I will raise the rent, but to double the rent would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
what I'm saying? Like, oh, because I know this neighborhood is becoming gentrified. I know that they built
and everybody else is raising the rent around. Let me get some money.
Built a whole over there, and I know they built a Starbucks over here. So I know we up and coming. So you know what? I'm gonna double my rent. I'm gonna force you out, and I'm gonna bring people in who could pay what I want. You know what I'm saying? Now it's good business sense, but it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I would at least. And if I was to do something like that, me as a landlord, I would give them like a year in advance. Like, listen, I'm just let you guys know next year, this is what the rent is gonna look like if I have to do something.
Have you guys seen what the housing market in New York City is now because of COVID? Like, it is insane.
Ridiculous.
It's insane the numbers.
Ridiculous. Like, you have to live with somebody right now. Like, it's almost
they have to put a cap on it, in my opinion. I had a girlfriend, we talked about this. It's like the rent prices are crazy. For like a studio, it's like $3,000.
Crazy.
And they're gentrifying all the areas and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. I personally said no, only because I'm a landlord, right? And so, I think it's based on your experience, right? We're in a deficit right now. We had a tenant. When you live in states like New York, they really side with the tenant all the time. In New Jersey, so it took us a really long time. This man was not paying rent. Our tenant wasn't paying rent for over 24 months. So, and we couldn't get him out. So, and now we had to renovate. And so we had to raise the rent much higher than it is. And if we can get that person to pay for it, then, it is what it is, because we have to recoup that money. And there are people paying, that amount in the area. You know what I mean? Is it right to charge $3,000 for a 1-bedroom? And in New York City, maybe it's not. But if people are paying for it, you get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a fact. Yeah. So getting away with it makes you not greedy.
It becomes the new norm. It becomes the new norm. It's not just me. You know what
My question is, TJ, so getting away with it makes you
fucking monster. You slumlord.
You slumlord.
So TJ, you being avarice. You being avarice.
I am. You trying to come for me, though. You trying to come for my point.
No, you said I'm not coming for you. You said I am. You said I am.
No, TJ, do not waver, because this question did not give enough context. Okay. All the question
back me up, Flash.
Right. All the question asked is, when a landlord raises rent, would you consider that greed? And I said no as well.
No.
All right, because the landlord could raise it by $1. Landlord could raise it by
it depends on the amount.
And I get that. So I said no initially too, but I lean more towards sophisticatedly ratchet, but I still said no because I'm answering what it is, and yeah, I've seen landlords do it, but my parents were one of those landlords who they had their apartment rented out for the same price for probably like 15 years. And that was through so much New York shit, especially. And for them to even say like, hey, we're raising the rent $200 after 15 years, I thought that was like, wow, this place is actually worth more than that. But once again, my parents they're not greedy in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I don't consider them greedy. It's like they'll do it because it's like, yeah, we have an opportunity to earn more money. But once again, yeah, I get it. If you own a bunch of buildings,
they're not gonna abuse you.
Yeah, they're not gonna abuse it. It's like sometimes you want to have a reason to also do it, and some people just ask for too much because maybe it's more personal, that as far as like the goals they're trying to create, and of course people are going to be affected because of that. But if it's more like if it's more like the area shit and the environment, it's like, yo, I have to do this or else I can't even own these properties or whatnot. It might look greedy, but essentially it could be like the choice that they have to make. You know what I'm saying? So I just say it depends on the context.
I agree. I know a business, a guy that bought.
Yeah, I lean towards it.
Yeah, I know a guy that recently bought a building out in Yonkers and found out that now he owns the building and there was tenants already in it and they were paying like, a little bit of money every month. He gonna have to kick them out if they can't raise the rent where he can pay the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So, it just is what it is.
You think that makes him a bad guy?
No. Because he has to focus on himself. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that maybe 80-year-old Papa, has been living in his apartment for, 10 years paying $600, but this apartment's actually worth $1,200 now. And I need $1,200 in this unit in order for me to afford the rent. He got to leave. Papa got to go.
Yeah.
If he
How
can't
much time
afford
you give Papa? Max.
Maybe 6 months. It depends on my pocket. How much can I afford to give Papa? How much time can I afford to give Papa before this mortgage kicks in?
Shortest amount of time you willing to give Papa.
All right.
Depends on my pockets.
All right.
Depends on the money amount.
You heard
Next week, Bobby. Yo. Woo-woo.
All right, guys.
Going out buy wins. Buy win, Papa. Buy win, Papa.
All right, guys.
Go live with your daughter.
So guys, all right, guys. So we're gonna end this episode off with one more question. All right.
Okay.
How do we resist the influence of greed in our own lives and in society as a whole, TJ?
How do we resist it? And
how do we resist the question? Want me to read it again?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Okay. How do we resist the influence of greed in our own lives and in society as a whole?
I think it's, having people keep you accountable and also you checking in with yourself. I mean, we can be greedy in little things. And I think that's something that I learned in Buddhism. It was being mindful, like only taking the amount of food that you're going to actually eat. Taking any more than that is greedy. So just being mindful of everything and then having people around you that are going to keep you in check. And I'm going to tell you, hey, you have 2 girlfriends. Why you got 2 girls? That's greedy. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
Who said that?
I mean, I'm going to keep my friends. Well, yeah,
that's
I'm
your
gonna
beliefs.
keep my friends accountable.
That's your beliefs on their life.
On the things that I believe. Correct. Yeah.
Right.
The things that I believe, I'm going to do that.
Do y'all share those same beliefs?
We may not, but if I believe it and I love my friend, I will want to share what I believe with my friend, and that's okay if they don't believe what I believe. It's okay.
All right, you're gonna get shut down.
It exists. And that's why friendships are friendships. Right. I don't know something. And everything is subjective. Everybody has their own reasons and their own definitions to things. So yeah, that's my answer. Be mindful and keeping your circle accountable.
Awesome. Are you complete?
I'm complete.
Who's next?
Who's next?
All right.
I'll go like this. So I feel like everybody should definitely think in abundance as far as like go for the things that you want in life, gain more of the things that resonate really well with you, and be goal oriented, not necessarily greed oriented, because you should know when something fulfills its purpose, I guess, like in your life, and it doesn't matter whether it's like money or cars, like weed, whatever the fuck you feel like fulfills you or whatnot. I guess just understanding you don't need, and it kind of does tie into gluttony a bit. It's like you don't need to overconsume, any and everything. It's like set goals, get the things you want, think in abundance, because I truly believe we deserve everything, and I feel like there's also enough of it out here for us to gain access to.
Everybody to eat. That's right.
And I also do believe like you're sometimes how greedy that you want to be is it should be in like direct correlation to like how much you give out. So it's like if you want to have more and more, this is like make sure you're giving out a bunch of that energy or food or time or whatever the case is as well, because like it feels better. It doesn't feel greedy. It just feels like, yo, I deserve this. So I'm complete.
Got you, Flash. It felt good to give those leftovers to that homeless person, right?
Yes, it did. It
not buying him a full meal though.
No, I buy everything. I do everything. Next. I'm not greedy,
but
I am.
Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead.
All right. How do we, what says, resist the influence of greed in our own lives
and in
and
society
as a whole by not being avarice? Come on now. Nah,
Ooh.
but
You trying to come for me, bitch?
yes.
All right.
But
Go ahead.
how do we resist it? By focusing on yourself. And when I say focusing on yourself, a lot of times we look at those who have, we don't know how they got it. We don't know what they did to get it. And we just get so fixated on, oh my God, they have this, but we don't know the backstory of how they obtained that wealth is what I'm trying to say. And like we said, we all want to be abundance, but let's find our own way to do it as well. Like I said, we can't focus on other people, because sometimes when you get so fixated on that, and we don't know the background story all the time.
Gotcha.
They sucking and fucking to get to the. And I'm just being, we don't know that. We just see the material things, and we see the money, and we see this. They could have been
the sacrifices, not even the sucking and fucking,
not even
the sacrifices.
The sacrifices. They could have been the sacrifices. They could have been scamming. They could have been anything. They could have been doing ripping off poor people. We don't know, but we just see. I'm just and we get fixated on that. So I said, just keeping a focused mindset on yourself, make a goal for what we want, because if we dream it, we can have it. And I think we just need to continue to put that in the universe. Whatever we want, God knows all. He knows what we want. Continue to put it in the atmosphere, let it surround us. So I would say just focusing on ourselves and living in our own, and stop focusing on other people.
Facts.
All right. Final thought of the day. Okay, Mash, what's your final thoughts?
You guys said such great things just now. Like Flash, I agree with you. Mo, I agree with you as well. I know we talked about sin being like a negative, but I really feel like in hindsight, I want to be more greedy. I want to be more ambitious with the things that are important to me. I want to have more desire that, and I want to get that to my child when I decide to have children. I want to put my kids.
That's not greedy though.
I want them to be more selfish. Like I want them to share when you're ready to share. I want you to know boundaries. I want you to be comfortable with owning your stuff because it's yours. All right. And I'll let you get it when I'm done playing with it because it's mine. But know that this is mine. You know? I want to instill that in my kid when I decide to have one. But yeah, I think that greed is important. I mean, I think that there's enough for all of us. We can manifest whatever we want. You know what I mean? Abundance is ours, right? If we want it, we can have it. And there's enough for all of us. So, you know what I mean? It's good to be greedy, but it's also important to be generous. So,
gotcha. That's what's up. All right. So here goes my final thoughts.
Okay, this is final thought.
So this is our final episode on episode on the 7 Deadly Sins. And the episode is greed, right? And how do I resist greed from influencing me? I feel like drive and initiative are necessary. Also ambition. Those are necessary. Like if you want to be successful, you need all those things. But at the same time, you have to take into account who you are negatively affecting. You have to take into account that you don't want to lose your humanity trying to become rich. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like you have to check yourself, right? And if you check yourself, and you make sure that you are remaining human and you are like not just, like I said, negatively impacting people, you resist falling victim to greed, okay? Right. Because we can fall victim to greed. I mean, we can get to the point where, you're so greedy that you don't realize that, it's too much. It's too much. And a lot of times you can end up in situations where you're so greedy, you end up losing everything. You know what I'm saying?
And that happens.
So check it. It's a fact. So you have to check yourself and make sure that, make sure that you're not being greedy. Make sure you are just checking.
Being mindful.
Also, for society as a whole, like I said, we can do, as a people, we can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that we are giving back.
Generosity tax.
Generosity, bro. Generosity is the answer to greed. Generosity tax. All right? Y'all heard it here first on Sophisticatedly Ratchet, all the billionaires. Generosity.
We're coming for y'all. We're coming for all y'all.
Yes.
They're going to find y'all.
All right. So on that note, we are going to end the episode right here and now. I'm gonna say TJ is the winner of the word of the day.
Okay.
No, it's a tie.
No, it's not.
Wait,
It's a tie, baby.
What?
It was
It's not
a
even
tie.
called the word of the
It's a tie.
day.
A word of the
For
week.
the word of the week. It's the word of the week.
So wait, hold on. We have to go to sudden death.
Oh gosh. Wait, I like
You
that.
look at
Go
that.
first, Mo. You go first.
No.
All right.
Why I gotta
All
go
right.
first? I gave the
Because
last
I said it
word.
first. I said it
All
first.
right, let's go,
Okay.
Mo. In 3, 2, 1, go, Mo.
President Trump.
Mm.
Go ahead, Mo.
No.
You got it.
Go ahead, President Trump. Go ahead.
Because now y'all made me.
All right, I'll go. I'll go.
Let me think of my thing now.
All right,
I'm doing my
so-
sentence. And
Yeah.
I'm just,
Rapid fire.
Honoring the 7 deadly sins. This is our last episode on greed. I don't want to be avarice. I'm gonna just go ahead and give this point. I'm gonna be generous. And give this point to my bestie.
I hate that.
Wow.
What kind of cheat is that?
She stalls
Mine
for a
is-
bit longer than I
Still
would
wanna
like,
give him
but
the
Exactly.
all right, whatever.
I'm sticking with my President Trump.
You ain't even say it.
President. I'm doing my sentence now.
Okay,
President
go
Trump was the most avarice presidents that we had. How about that?
I don't know, but I can let it go.
Yeah.
I let it go.
He
I let
was.
it go.
He agreed.
Here's the thing.
That wasn't a sentence.
All right. So we have a vote of 3. So who votes for TJ? TJ sentence.
No, I didn't like TJ's sentence.
Who votes for Mo's sentence?
I vote for Mo.
Only Asha, so
But
she got two
TJ already gave it away with her sentence to Mo. So Mo
So,
wins.
yeah. Yeah, you can have it. I'm being generous. I couldn't have this episode and be average.
That was good. That was good. That was very
It
good.
doesn't make sense.
That was very good, TJ.
I'm gonna be,
Yeah.
but I have to be the average. I have to be the average one in the episode. Extreme greed.
Finally. All right, we got one.
No, just because you won doesn't mean you're avarice.
Avarice. Well, yeah, but I'm
No,
just
we're
saying.
not
that
greedy.
back to the
Oh
episode.
man, y'all are
Avarice.
fucking up greed.
Take us away, TJ.
Anyway, take us away without.
All right,
That's
tribe.
good.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Sophisticatedly Ratchet. And one thing you can do is listen to every episode. Share it with a friend. You cannot be avarice by sharing it with as many people
Share
as
us.
you know, okay?
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing. Thank you for being sophisticated. Thank you for being ratchet. Thank you for being a part of the tribe. Go ahead and listen to us everywhere we hear podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon has podcasts. We are also on YouTube where you can see and hear our beautiful see our beautiful faces at So Ratchet Space Podcast. We go live every first Wednesday of every new month. We're also on social media. We're at So Ratchet Podcast on IG, So Ratchet Podcast on TikTok, So Ratchet Pod on Twitter, and yeah, we're everywhere you hear podcasts. Thank you.
Everywhere.
Hit the like button right now, hit the follow button right now, hit the share button right now, the notifications button right now, and just share us with the tribe. Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Be
Tell a
generous.
friend to tell a friend. We sophisticatedly ratchet.
Okay.
Let's go.
And you are too. You are too, tribe.
Yeah.
All right, tribe.
Facts.
Thank you for listening.
Facts.
Peace.
Peace.